Moving on, the sequel to Hunger Games called Catching Fire is now on the screen. With the release of this movie comes a lot of questions. This movie is particularly popular with teenagers, also it's definitely violent. It brings back the old debate of trivialization of violence in media and how it may affect our behavior. To find some answer to the question, we have investigated and met a group of roommates sharing a flat and how their use of media affects their daily life. An exclusivity of MCNS.
So we're just arriving in front of the flat of the three roommates that we are going to follow this week. So let's do it.
Hi!
Hi, how are you?
Fine, and you?
Fine, thank you.
Welcome!
Thank you, thanks a lot.
Follow me.
Hi guys.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine,
Fine.
and you?
What are you watching?
Video games.
Watch, it's the best thing.
Oh! What is it?
Hey,
What are you looking at?
oh, very great picture. And you know, it's, I don't know if you know this website, it's rotten.com.
No, I don't know this.
Oh, it's very funny. You can see that a man grinder his hand. You don't like that?
No. So you're enjoying video games?
Yeah.
But it looks super violent, there is blood everywhere. Don't you think it's shocking?
No, it's fun.
Really? Don't you think it can give idea to people to do this in real life?
Now I'm doing the difference between the game and reality.
Oh, so it looks like Brian is in the kitchen. Hey, what are you doing?
I'm dressing for a party.
What kind of party?
It's a party when you have to be dressed up like your favorite character.
Also, who did you choose?
I've chose Dexter from the TV show, you know?
I see.
I'm also cooking. Hey.
Back to the studio. Outcome of the survey realized by Ipsos and BVP had just gone out in France. We can learn that French admit at 60% to be often shocked by what they hear in some of the biggest current media vectors. To enlighten us on this subject, we received at Media Culture and Society the expert David Wolf. Hi David, thank you to coming at MCNS.
Hi Lisa, I'm glad to be at MCS, thank you very much.
In France, the advertising shocked 17% of the French people, a figure lower than the reality TV show, which shocked 39%, or still the report of information, which shocked 22%. Do you think acts of violence are more present on the movie we watch?
Actually, yes, Lisa. I've got some figure here, and I see that for several years now, we have been assisting to an increase of violence on the screens. For example, classified movie PG-13 have more violence, almost 50% of the American market, and make more money than any other movies. And according to a recent American study, an average teenager have seen by screen intervals from 18 to 20,000 murders.
However, in movie, people are passive, but in video games, they are the author of violence. What is your point of view on this subject, David?
Indeed, violent video games are really popular, and the best example is the recent release of Grand Theft Auto 5. The launch of this game has broken 7 new world records. Those records include the highest revenue generated by an entertainment product in 24 hours and the fastest entertainment property to gross $1 billion. The figure even smashes records previously held by blockbusters movies like The Avengers and Avatar. Gaming is no longer a niche hobby. The problem is to know if violence really has a consequence on the gamer or not. The young lady we just saw in the video said that she knew the difference between video games and reality, but some people don't. I have in mind a case, it was in 2003, an 18-year-old shot and killed 2 policemen after grabbing one of the officer's weapon following an arrest for a stolen car. The shooter told investigators that he had been inspired by Grand Theft Auto Vice City, a previous version of Grand Theft Auto 5. But it's easy to blame the game for action he would have committed anyway. Some people blame movies for the action as an excuse to. But let's keep in mind that not a single study since the early 80s has found a link between video games and violence on the users. People playing violent video games are not becoming violent. It's more likely that violent people are attracted by violent video games, I think.
Another media who is very popular with teenagers is music, and more specifically rap music. So what's the impact on rap music on the teenager today?
This music has a huge impact on our youth today. Many studies have been done on this topic. So results show that there is an association between violence among youths and exposure to media violence, including rap music. This music promotes violent actions. Every time a song is sold with lyrics that are violent towards women or violent in any way, it helps desensitives in its listeners. It adds the idea that violence and violence against women is acceptable. For instance, Eminem is the most provocative and controversial music performer because of his heavily sexual and violent lyrics.
Now we are going to talk about internet and violence in its multiple forms.
Okay, right, where do we start?
Let's start with a huge amount of hardcore websites that are freely consultable by everyone on the internet.
Sure. The most famous of this website is rota.com. We saw it on the video with the young ladies. But there is also an impressive amount of other websites like this. Of course, they are not supposed to be consulted by people under 18, but only a little minority of them want visitors. This website, they offer a large selection of pictures, videos, and stories only about shocking things. It has its public. Some people are into it, just like people enjoy horror movies. But the most important part of its visitors are young people who come on this site because they heard their friends telling how disgusting and shocking they were, and it creates excitement. It becomes addictive, not because they enjoy the content, just because it's so shocking and immoral that they want to see how far it can go, where the limit is.
I see. How about social networks?
Social networks, they represent a support for another kind of violence. It's called cyberbullying. Facebook is a good example of it. When in one click you can ruin the reputation of someone, spread a rumor, or even use blackmail, and it can have dramatic consequences such as suicide.
Let's now deal with the topic of pornography.
There is a huge increase in the consultation of pornography websites. There is more than 420 million of pornographic pages on the internet. They represent 12% of all the websites that exist on the internet. Every second there are nearly 30,000 internet users who watch pornographic content. That's huge. Some contents are particularly violent and it can have consequences on viewers who can be more tempted by sexual assault and even rapes, some studies showed.
We are constantly surrounded by violence into media, but we are not shocked anymore. It's trivialized. So media have a real role in education people, and they have to be aware of it and take their responsibilities. Thank you for watching MCNS. It was Lisa. Bye bye.